What's up, guys? Dell here. This is season 2 of Dell's Garden. We're back and bigger than ever, as you can see. So, just like last year, gonna give you a quick tour around the garden. Got some squash here, some yard-long beans mixed in with those, some radish, a little bit of watermelon this year. It's coming up the trellis here, up the fence. A ton of cucumber. All of this is cucumbers here. Sweet potatoes. Plenty of potatoes. All of that's potatoes going through there. More bush beans. This is the same moringa plant that I had from last year. I decided to turn my little patio there into a greenhouse and kept it alive over the winter. That did pretty good. More cucumber on this side. In fact, we've got a couple starting to come in over here, which is good. I got some blackberries back here that are starting to come in. Should be ripe within the next couple of weeks or so. More yard-long beans here. And so these are just starting to come in. Plenty of Swiss chard. Some more horseradish. In fact, that's the same horseradish from last year. I just let it kind of sit in the ground over winter. Over here we've got mustard. I had some onions growing here. I have since picked those because they were ready. So I'll do a separate video on those. More mustard. Kale. Got some kohlrabi here. In fact, that's about ready to be picked. Got another one here. That's also just about ready. Plenty more mustard. I've expanded my rice pond out a little bit. I'm just starting to get the rice coming in. As you can see there, it's just starting to come in. But I've also got plenty more taro, and the big one is plenty of Chinese water spinach. Now these here, all of this here, this is cattail. I've got a lot of peppers on this side, peppers, and some squash coming in. This is the same pepper plant from last year as well. Just kind of overwintered in my greenhouse. Along here, more moringa. These are all edible and very, very nutritious. And then, just to add something new, I put some nasturtiums in here too. Now, for those of you who don't know, nasturtiums are also edible, and they've kind of got like a little bit of a peppery taste to them. They're very good. More peppers along here. I know my garden is a mess. In fact, this is the second video that I've done. I actually redid this. I'm actually redoing this tour because my garden was even worse. So I had to kind of clean it up a little bit. So over here I've got plenty of tomatoes, and I've actually got some tomatillos growing as well. So we'll see how those turn out. And look at that, got blueberries actually coming in pretty nicely this year. So that's good to see. And over here I've got a nice little compost bin, couple of compost bins that any extra green waste pretty much goes in there. So the reason I'm showing you this now is we've got some big things planned for this season. Last year I had a pretty good harvest out of everything. Got some borage and strawberries over here as well. I don't think I got any strawberries coming in just yet. Oh, I guess I do. There's one right there. Little guy. But yeah, I had a pretty good harvest last year. In fact, I had so much that I couldn't possibly eat it all, and a lot of it ended up being given away. So I decided to do a challenge this year. Based on that success, the challenge is this. For the remainder of the summer, today it's going on July 1st, I believe. July 1st is Sunday, and today is Friday. So starting July 1st and continuing through the rest of the summer, probably until mid-September, can I sustain myself off of just this garden? So just what I can grow, what I can catch as far as fish. You know, if I decide to hunt, I may not, because it's the middle of the summer and it's not really, well, I won't hunt because it's not in season. But what I can catch as far as fish, and what I can raise, which I've got some rabbits, which I'll show you here in just a few minutes. But the game is to see if it's doable. Now, this isn't a dietary thing. This is more of an experiment to see if it's feasible with this amount of land. Is it feasible to do? This is a 840 square foot garden, I believe. So is it feasible to grow your own food and sustain yourself through the summer with just this amount? Now, in all likelihood, the answer to that is probably no. You know, because there are still several things that I will need that I cannot raise, I cannot grow. For example, rice. This is not going to come in realistically until late summer, early fall is when I'll actually get any rice. In fact, I'm not growing this to harvest really any of it. It's just more of a decorational kind of thing. I've had rice growing in nearly every garden I've had for the last 5-6 years. So I understand that that's not a feasible thing. So I will be preparing a list of items that I will be allowed to buy during this challenge. Rice will be one of them. Flour will not be. I will not purchase flour. But any flour that I want can be milled from grains itself. So I can only buy the raw grains, which will more than likely be rice and wheat berries. Other than that, like I said, I have the rabbits. I don't have a whole lot of them, so there's not really a viable meat source. I think I've got about 10 of them altogether. 3 out here, and the rest are downstairs in my basement, 10 or 11. So there's those, which is not really a viable meat source, but is enough to get something started. Now, with the rabbits, it's not a viable nutrition source as far as fat goes. Okay, you can survive off a rabbit for as long as you want, and if that's all you're eating, you will still starve to death. It's called rabbit starvation. Look it up. However, so what I'll do is maybe once every week or so, I'll probably go with something that can be used in place of that. You know, just to keep, nutrition-wise, just to keep a good healthy diet. Because again, this challenge isn't about dieting, it's about self-sustainment. What is practical? So, without further ado, we'll go on over to the rabbits. So here's my bunnies. These are Flemish Giants. They're about 7-8 months old, so they're pretty good size. Each one of these will yield about probably a good 5 or 6 pounds of meat. Now I do have some more rabbits downstairs. 2 Holland Lops, 3 baby Flemishes, and a New Zealand. They're not really acclimated to the Kansas heat right now, so they're kind of sitting downstairs in my basement where it's nice and cool. But we'll maybe do another video on them. But all in all, I've got enough to get somewhat of a rabbitry established. But you see, they're waiting for me to put food in their bowl. Now, the slaughter of these guys will probably be once every few weeks or so. You know, it won't be very, very often. I've still got 2 rabbits in my freezer at the moment that I've already slaughtered. So these guys will be around for a little while longer. These 2 are female. That one, the gray one right there, is a male. And usually I wouldn't keep them together, but I had some issues with cages and needed to move them. And it's too hot for them to breed anyway, so they're getting along pretty well. Alright guys, let's run down the rules of this challenge as it will pertain for the summer. So the goal of this is going to be to see if I can live sustainably based on what I have growing here, what I can catch, and what I can raise. That being said, I know that that's not 100% viable. Just setup alone is going to be difficult and has been difficult. So, that being said, there are a list of exceptions in this. These will be things that I actually will still be able to go and buy at the store. But the caveat to those is they have to be things that I cannot sustainably grow here or raise here. For example, within the city limits, I cannot raise chickens. So chicken, for the most part, chicken and eggs, as much as I would love to be able to raise my own, those will be on the exception list, just so that there is a decent protein source other than just the fish and the rabbits, which are good, but they're not efficient by themselves. Other exceptions will be rice or grains. I do have a little bit of rice here growing, but rice takes a very long time to get itself established, and as with any grain, it takes a good while to grow. And in order to be able to use that for this challenge, I would have had to have grown it last year and saved it for the summer, which I didn't think of the challenge until January, February time period. So raw grains will be on the list. Flour will not be. I will not be able to buy flour. I will have to process it from the raw grain itself. So my two main grains that I have right now are rice and wheat berries, which I can mill flour from those. Dairy will be the same to a point. I'll try to limit as much as I can with dairy, but I still will have some access to milk. The ones that will be allowed are milk and heavy cream. So if I want cheese, if I want butter, I have to make it myself. As far as meats go, I may do the occasional piece of beef, but I probably won't, more than likely. Might be something just for a cheat day. You know, it's the middle of the summertime. I may want to do a barbecue or something and grill some steak. So no more than once every couple of weeks, I might do something like that if I decide to in the first place. Another thing that will be on the list is honey. I tried growing some stevia earlier this spring. That just did not pan out very well, and I have not been able to find any more live plants since then, so it's a little late in the season to grow stevia right now from seed, and a little late in the challenge, so I won't allow sugar, but honey will be on the list just because of that. Regular seasonings, those will be allowed just to keep food from being super bland. And I would say the last major one will be coffee and tea. Simply because I work long hours and it has become a necessity at this point. I'm sure you guys understand what I mean on that one. So that will be that's the list of exceptions for this challenge, and we'll see how it goes. Should be interesting, should be a lot of fun, but it's also going to be really difficult too. But that starts 2 days from now, and I will be doing updates on it maybe once a week or once every week or two. You can also find me on Facebook at Dell's Projects, and I'll be putting updates on from there too. So, other than that, I hope you guys enjoy it. Enjoy this journey with me, and hopefully I don't go absolutely insane. But if I do, I'm dragging you guys along with me. All right, thanks for watching, and see you soon. Bye-bye.